Hello and welcome to episode 53 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I'm also joined by Drummer Matt. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you lovely gentlemen today?
I'm okay. How are you, Matt?
I'm well, and to finish the circle jerk, Snipe.
I don't like finishing the circle jerk. It's supposed to be a team effort. I'm fine, thank you, Drummer Matt. So, moving fucking swiftly on, we have some tabletop Warhammer news that we want to talk about.
Yeah, because Warhammer Fest was on over the weekend. Well, it would have been the previous weekend when this goes out.
It was over on a weekend.
It was over on a weekend in Coventry.
In Coventry.
What? Why?
I still think it should be in Nottingham.
Yeah, that makes way more sense.
I know.
I think it's just because it was a place that's the right size for them.
Nottingham is big.
No, as a city, yes, but like Warhammer World is quite small.
Yeah, but it's like I can catch a bus to Warhammer World.
Yeah, I mean.
So maybe they should think about me for a change.
To be fair, we have been saying that we're going to try and go to the next one.
Yeah. Do you really want to go to the next one? Drummer Matt, come with us, because you'll be back in the country maybe then.
Yeah, maybe just about. Yeah.
Yeah, so come with us, it'll be super cool.
Yeah, if I'm back, I'll come with you.
Shit, yeah.
Cool.
We can do the vlogs and the cool content.
Oh yeah, we can make all the hype content for the YouTubes.
And then we can pay people to pretend that they recognise us. It'll be awesome.
What? Shall we like go up to like one of like the Black Library authors and go like
if like Gav Thorpe or Robbie, just any of them are there, just go, look, if I give you £27.50, will you pretend that you're a fan of ours, please?
No, what I want them to say is, oh hey, it's Snip and Web, like to get our name not quite right.
It's just Drummer Matt and I.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's kind of my name, so it won't be wrong.
Yeah. It's Snip and Web, and you're like, I am also here. You're like, and that guy.
And also Percussion Man. Percussion Mark.
Percussion Mark.
Okay, I'm going to start talking about Warhammer Fest properly.
No, I want to talk about the horrible bastardizations of like the weird Chinese bootlegs of us.
Anyway, but they announced a bunch of stuff and showed off a bunch of stuff at Warhammer Fest. We're not going to mention everything, largely because we don't care about everything.
I mean,
and if you think we do, I don't know who you're thinking of. Maybe you're thinking of Percussion Mark and Web.
Well, maybe. But we're going to go through some of the stuff that kind of jumped out to us.
Yes.
Namely, they finally unveiled what one of the new sister models will look like.
Oh, I know.
And it looks fucking great.
It looks amazing.
It does look good.
Oh god, I am so hyped for New Sisters.
Like, they did basically nearly everything I wanted from it,
yeah.
So it's like good. It was far better than I was expecting.
Yeah,
honestly.
no, I'm really impressed. I like how she's this stern scarred badass, and oh god, I love her so
well,
much.
I mean, it's based off one of the cooler bits of artwork.
Yeah, that is like one of my favourite pictures of a sister ever.
Yeah, it's
amazing.
It's pretty great, and that one, due to the elaborate base, I don't know exactly what that model will be like, if it'll have actual rules or if it's more just for showing off purposes.
Don't really mind either way, I just want it.
Yeah, but that's apparent.
Yeah, if that's the way they're going with them, that's cool. They done good.
They done very good.
Yeah, apparently that one's coming out before the main wave, so...
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out like this year or something, isn't it?
Maybe. I didn't see a time.
I know it's supposed to be released before, like, next year when the Sisters are released.
Well, yeah, but it could be released next year before the Sisters are released as well. I don't know if it's said.
Let me fucking dream that it's like in 2 months, okay? Jesus Christ, I need this. How long have people been fucking waiting? Don't be that guy.
Fuck. The original Sister models are like early 90s.
So at least 476 years.
No,
Yeah.
but let's move on. The next thing is there is Adeptus Titanicus, which is a new game based on an old game.
What you mean, like Epic used to be called Adeptus Titanicus?
Well, it wasn't
Wasn't
really...
that like the beta name for it or something?
No. Well, Adeptus Titanicus was its own thing as far as I'm aware, and Epic's kind of a separate thing that involves things more than Titans. But I haven't played either of them, so I don't know.
Can you blame me? Because there's about 87 different things that are Rogue Trader.
There are literally now 3 separate game systems called Rogue Trader, yes.
So, yeah, they kind of suck at naming things.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's a bunch of different Epic scale stuff between Epic, and then there's Adeptus Titanicus, and then I think Space Marine was an add-on to that, and there's like Apocalypse...
the PC game Space Marine was an add-on to the Epic board game.
Yes, it was. It was amazing.
See, this is the problem. I was talking about this on Twitter, because they name everything the fucking same. Sometimes it gets really confusing. It's like, when I was searching for information on the defunct MMO, Dark Millennium, and all I got was fucking information on the card game called Dark Millennium, and the second edition expansion called Dark Millennium.
Yeah.
Like, just have new names for things, please.
We should buy them a thesaurus.
A thesaurus, you say?
Yeah, that's what we should buy them. Because, like, I'd be okay with, like, Shadow Imperium, or Shade Imperium, or Not Quite Lit Up Imperium.
Dim Imperium.
Dim Imperium.
Murky Imperium.
Murky, yeah.
Yeah, Dim, I think. That's what, yeah.
Dim
Excellent.
Imperium.
Dim Imperium. Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
just
a
going to say this
portmanteau.
podcast is going to last so fucking long.
You're not editing it. I don't know what you're complaining about. This is a problem for tomorrow, me.
Yes, this is your problem, and you will have to deal with it.
I'll just get myself a bottle of vodka and cry. You know, that's how I solve most of my problems.
There is that. Anyway, Adeptus Titanicus. It's, a small...
one?
The new one.
The luckiest game. Oh my.
A small scale Titan combat game with Imperial Knights the size of Space Marines that are adorable.
They're super cute.
It's coming out even with like terrain and stuff, so like little
nice.
buildings that are even littler than the little buildings you can already get.
That means you can use them on like a normal like game of 40k and just pretend that everyone's giant.
Everyone's gone to the model village for a weekend.
Yes. And then just happen to have a fight. Oh, you can get a proper Imperial Knight. Oh.
So, how big are the Titans in this scale then? Just to get my head around it a bit.
Well, as I say, the Imperial Knights are about the same size as a Space Marine.
Okay.
Because they're on a 32mm base.
Super diddle.
So, I mean, I guess, like, Reavers are a bit bigger than, say, a Dreadnought, I guess. They're probably about the size of a Contemptor.
Okay.
So, they're, a fully fledged, like, Imperator Titan are actually still quite big, but obviously not as ludicrously gigantic as, like, a Forge World one. Yes, they've explicitly stated it is set during the Heresy, initially. So, presumably there'll be, like, an expansion that's not, or something later on.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, it looks pretty cool. Apparently the rules are based on the old game, so... but it's obviously a modernised version, so that's kind of cool.
Cool. Yeah, I'd never heard of the original one of those, to be honest.
Yeah, it's from like 1988, I think.
Okay.
So it's not like it's a game that has been around while you've been playing.
Yeah.
So, but that's mostly it for like the 40k sort of stuff. But there is a few Age of Sigmar things that are kind of interesting.
I would also agree.
As the writer of Age of
As
Sigmar.
the sole writer and creator of Age of Sigmar and everything Warhammer Fantasy, I'm very proud of what I brought, or what I allowed my Ghost Riders, well, no, I'm the Ghost Rider, what I allowed my Ghost Faces to go and do.
Okay, well, there has been a new edition of the game.
Yes.
So there's a new edition of Age of Sigmar out. I don't really know that much about it, but I just thought I'd mention it.
Well, I mean, I do, but I'm going to feign ignorance.
Okay. There is also a new Age of Sigmar webcomic that's come out called Role Models.
That is so weird to me that I wrote a webcomic called Role Models. That just seems so weird. I mean, I really like how GW are kind of going, oh shit, yeah, this community thing, we should probably do something about that.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they've started putting out like leggings and stuff, which I'm in love with.
Oh, yeah.
You get like sister leggings, Cornate leggings. I don't like the Space Wolf leggings because they're fucking powder blue.
Yeah.
I hate powder blue Space Wolves. I'm like, oh, all this other stuff, and I'm like, well, I need the sister leggings. But they're like They are very expensive.
Yeah, they're relatively expensive for what they are.
But I love this thing they're doing.
It's cool.
I love it.
It's cool. The first episode issue page, whatever you want to call it, of the new webcomic is out, and it's just kind of an introductory thing. So
yeah,
it is what it is. But there was also another new faction released, because apparently that's just what they do in Age of Sigmar now, is release a new faction every month.
Well, yeah.
Which I'm not totally against, because the models have generally been great, even if I don't, play the game.
Yeah.
But the new one is the Nighthaunt.
I really like these guys because I made them. There's
It's an army of ghost skeletons.
Ghost skeletons. It's so cool.
Ghost skeletons.
Yes.
Yeah. My favorite model is this guy on a big skeletal horse holding a sword in the air, and I'm like, that is fucking awesome. There's like a ghost chariot as well.
There is also Ghost Horse with Scythe that is based on that. Looks like it's based on that weird Welsh thing with the screaming ghost horse.
Oh, that thing. I can never remember the name of it, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's my favourite thing.
But yeah, so the Ghost Haunt look really, really fun.
They're super cool.
Okay, are they new Tomb Kings then? Or are they...
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
They do seem allied to Nagash, and he's to do with Tomb Kings, isn't he? Or is he just undead?
As the writer, I can confirm that Nagash is directly related to the Tomb Kings and the Nighthaunt, and also Sigmar, in ways that will be revealed in my next book.
Good.
Imperium 2.
Imperium 2. Die Another Day.
Yeah. In which you read it, and halfway through you remember that you were supposed to be writing about Age of Sigmar, and so you hastily correct all the parts to say Space Marines. Like, you can physically see them crossed out in crayon.
It's already been printed, so now I've got to cross out John McClane and put in Sigmar over it. Or
is it just the script of
It's basically, I rewrote the script of Die Hard 2, but then forgot halfway through that the subtitle for that wasn't Die Another Day, and it was actually a James Bond movie, and then I halfway through turned it into a James Bond book.
Yeah.
But then I crossed out all the main characters' names, put Sigmar, and...
Die Hard is actually based on a novel, and it's apparently shite.
I have heard something about that.
I don't know what it's called offhand, but yeah, it is apparently based on like a really shit schlocky novel.
Well, I mean,
there is the most important news from Warhammer Fest, though.
You're right. All this shit is dust compared to this news.
So, are you familiar with a character called, I think it's Gotrek Gurnison? I think is how you pronounce it?
Gotrek.
Or Gotrek?
Gotrek.
Are you familiar with that name, Matt?
Got wrecked. Son of Gurnus.
I'd say yes, but I'd be lying.
Okay.
Just say yes, I do it. I lie all the fucking time. I wrote fucking Age of Sigmar, apparently. Look how easy that shit is.
Well, he's a dwarf slayer, so the ones with the giant axes and all that.
Yeah,
the Naked Boys. They're the ones that literally just grow their beards out so tight, and then they kind of wrap them under their undercarriage, and then put them between their steely butt cheeks.
Yeah, they are the Naked Dwarf Men,
yeah.
Which is fantastic. So he's a name character, has been around for a while, and he's in a new audio drama that's coming out called Realm Slayer. Do you want to know who's voicing this dwarf slayer?
Yes, I do.
It's Brian Blessed.
Yeah, I did see that.
Did you hear the preview?
No, I haven't. Is there a preview?
Oh my god,
yes.
Dude, it is life changing.
Yes.
It's peak Blessed.
It's fucking borderline musical. It's so bombastic.
Okay,
it's amazing.
He's going full Prince Voltan on this, so it's good.
Nice.
It's one of those don't play Age of Sigmar, but kind of want to hear Brian Blessed shout for an hour and a half or however long it is, because that's always fun. But yeah, so there's a bunch of other stuff that was announced there. Like I think there's some new Forge World stuff shown off and things like that.
I saw a hoodie.
Yeah, there's some fun like Imperial.
I didn't think how expensive they're gonna be.
Like Imperial hoodies, like with the Aquila across them, and sort of cut in a way that I think it's supposed to evoke Space Marine armor. But yeah, there's a bunch of little stuff, and as I say, like for next year, we're going to try and get down there,
absolutely,
one way or the other.
Good. Did I see that there's new Middle Earth models on the list of news?
Oh yeah, that was mentioned, but I haven't looked into that.
Is anyone still playing any of the Lord of the Rings Hobbit games.
I didn't think anyone was.
I thought they moved on from those about 8 years ago.
Yeah, honestly, I always forget that's a thing.
Periodically, you do still see a new model come out, mostly for, like, Forge World.
Yeah.
Okay.
That they put one out. You do occasionally see things like that. If I'm remembering correctly, I may be imagining things. I'm sorry if I'm imagining things.
Yeah, no, I thought I didn't realise anyone was still paying attention to that.
Generally, it's one of those things that when I see someone talk about it, it's them complaining because they still want to play it and no one in their area still plays it.
I really, seriously, my heart goes out to those poor
Oh, yeah,
bastards
totally.
because everyone's had at least a bit of that kind of thing where you're, super into something and no one else gives any fucks. So
That's like when you're playing the one multiplayer game and no one else wants to play it with you.
No one fucking cares, and you're like, okay, I like the game. It's fun.
But yeah, so I mean, have you looked up at those models, Matt?
No, I just saw that they'd released them, but
okay.
Don't play it, so I didn't look.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, so some cool stuff was announced, some cool stuff was shown off. So
Absolutely.
hopefully there's a couple of those things, especially the new sister model, that we'll definitely get our hands on as soon as we can.
Because then I can justify getting a Celestine. Because I just think Celestine suits me.
Yeah, I get that.
I get that. We can make it work. Yeah. Oh, we got that PO box. What we've done set up, but it's not officially set up yet. But it's going to be. So watch this space.
Oh yeah,
nice.
we did finally get the PO box all registered and everything.
We're waiting for a letter for them.
Yeah, from them.
From them.
Do they put the letter in your PO box?
Honestly,
God.
it's not nationalised, so I think maybe they will.
You cannot trust them. Basically, we're waiting on the further information, and it should be active, I think, on the 23rd.
It's on the 23rd of May, but we're going to be putting out a video with the address in and a bunch of kind of rules.
Okay, nice.
And kind of guidelines and things like that. So...
don't fucking send us that weird Swedish thing that's Sturströmming. Yeah,
don't send us that. And, don't send us Battenberg because it is just wasting food and
People are going to send you Battenberg.
No, this is the thing. If I don't want to get sent Battenberg because I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I'm just going to throw it away, and I don't want to throw it away because that that's food someone could need. So how about instead of sending me Battenberg, go buy I don't know how much Battenberg is, £2 worth of food and pop it in the food bin for the food banks near your house. Or something. Go do something like that, or give it to somebody who's panhandling for change. Just don't send it to me.
You don't want it.
I will literally fucking kill a person. I will fucking murder someone, and that person will be missed. I don't want to do that, but I will. If you want to draw me a picture of Battenberg, that's fine, because I'll hate you, but. I'm not gonna be wasting food, so.
But yeah, so PO box will be open soon because a few people have said they'd like to, send in pictures and letters and things, and a few people,
a couple of people have made one-off models that they want to send or something. I can't remember.
There's a few things.
There's a few things.
So, we thought it was about time, so that'll be open soon. The other thing, sort of generally talk about, is that we've all been playing Gaslands.
We have. Yeah, you guys have roped Ruth and I in.
Yeah, so we're
okay with this, but
we've had a couple of big games, so 8 cars present.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Each with 2 vehicles. I do actually now physically have a full team. I've customized and painted up a couple of cars. So
I have a full team too. It's just that it's not painted yet.
I mean, obviously.
Shut your fucking mouth. But yeah.
Yeah, I need to come up with a name for my team because inevitably, because they're sponsored by Slime,
which is call them Slime Time.
That's the thing. In my head, I would try and come up with a cool name, but it's just you're just going to call them Slime Time. You know that's going to happen.
Yeah, well, at least everyone else is anyway, so you kind of might as well go with it.
Yeah, I'm just going to call them Slime Time. I guess that's just going to happen.
Slime Time 1, Slime Time 2.
Slime Time and Slime Crime.
Oh, that's quite good.
But yeah, so we played a few big games, and I feel that in our first game where we all played, because...
Oh no, I loved our first game where all 4 of us played. That was great.
Because, yeah, just in case you haven't heard us talk about it in the last couple of podcasts, but yeah, Gaslands is a car combat game where you use customized Hot Wheels cars.
Yeah.
And you can either race or have Destruction Derby things, and
There's a zombie mode as well, which we've not.
Oh yeah, there's a zombie mode.
There's a couple of other weird modes. We've just done the basic ones.
And we've been playing, and that's what we've been playing. So, in Snipe's first game, can you please enlighten us as to what you did turn 1?
Okay, so I feel that that's a very leading question.
What, because it leads you to tell the awful truth?
Basically. Okay, so little background on my team. So I've gone with Warden because being an Australian, I find that's kind of a bit gallows humour. Haha, I'm a convict.
Not taking the prison car upgrade on your vehicles.
Yeah. So I don't know, I played the game how I feel like it should be played, like Carmageddon.
You mean how you took off from the start line,
Yeah.
swerved wildly across the entire track, causing Matt's car with an exploding ram to ram straight into you, didn't have a choice in the matter.
Mm-hmm.
Which...
Fully exploded you.
Yeah, literally destroyed you turn 1, gear 1.
Yeah.
But your car...
Which, honestly, I was aiming for.
Which caused your car to explode, wiping out...
Well, I think first it caused it to... So when you're wrecked, it, potentially flies forwards. So when it goes forward and it hits someone else...
It hit the back of Ruth's buggy.
So then we had to deal with that collision. And then it exploded, which took out someone else. And then that one moved forward and then hit someone else. This turn took so long.
It was an hour for a turn or
It
something.
was awesome!
And then at the end, my first car was fine. And then it was right, that's the end of... Wait, that's the end of my turn. I haven't done anything for
Yeah, and
half an hour.
it was the end of Drama Matt's turn. And then his van got stuck there the rest of the game behind me, because every time, because you tried to move out and you had to collide with my wreck again.
Which I think, didn't that wipe you out or something? Yeah. And then my car that was starting behind you rammed into your car and it just kept going on and on.
It was amazing. I love this game.
But I mean, you did so well, Matt, because you'd made a car, your other car got away from the start line super quick because you'd put a nitro booster on it and you just wanted a quick car that could get out ahead of people.
Yeah, I figured I just wanted to get out of the way because there's going to be... I didn't realise there was going to be quite as much carnage as there was quite as quickly.
You didn't realise that you were playing with a chaotic fucking, neutral.
But yeah, I figured I'd get one of them and just out of the way as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And so the game really ended up with a massive clusterfuck at the start line and then... your performance car and one of my performance cars chasing each other around,
doing basically no damage to each other, and then we both managed to wipe out and crash by ourselves just by not going around corners very well.
Yeah,
taking corners at massively high gear.
But the important factor to remember is
I fucked everything up.
No, that yes, we both wiped out taking multiple corners at high speed, but I wiped out and was totally fine. You wiped out, slammed into a wall, and also exploded.
Yeah, that did happen.
I love how Ruth was just kind of out for a Sunday drive.
Well, she'd taken a gyrocopter and so was just flying around throwing Molotovs at people.
Yeah, she completely wrecked my car, my remaining car with a Molotov.
Yeah.
She just kept chucking Molotovs at me. I'm like, no, we have a common enemy. Everyone who isn't me.
That's true. But yeah, so we've stocked up on Hot Wheels, and so we've got a few things to make a few teams.
Yeah. Because until now we've been playing on Tabletop Simulator, which is fine. And someone, I don't know who they are, so I can't credit them, but someone's done a good job of making a Tabletop Simulator version of it with all the templates and everything. But it just takes... I think it's a relatively slow game when you're not quite sure what you're doing anyway. Well, not a slow game, it takes a while to finish a race or finish an arena or whatever. But everything just takes twice as long on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, because you got to fuck around, and I'm pretty sure the dice, I don't think they're as randomized as...
I don't think they're random at all.
Sometimes it does look a little suspicious, although
I mean those 4 2s I rolled yesterday.
To be fair, when the game we played yesterday, we all rolled so horrendously badly at times. Although I did find out that no matter how big your ram is, ramming a monster truck with your small car head on does not end well.
because Ruth took a monster truck and just fucking owned you.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to take my regular team. They're both performance cars, but let's see how that works. Turns out, in like a Destruction Derby type scenario, performance cars not so great.
No, I decided to kind of give in to my incredibly reckless nature and take a buggy that was not only has a +1 to explosions, it has an exploding ram on it as well. I also loaded it down with grenades, so it's even more volatile.
Yeah, so it's basically a 10-point moving bomb.
Yeah, really. And Drummer Matt took the fuck bus.
Yeah, that's not what I named it, but it's what you named it.
No, dude, it was the fuck bus. See, I was just like sitting there going, tabletop-wise, I can imagine, like, I'm just like sitting in my buggy driving around, and I just hear over the distance the muffled tune of the B-52's Love Shack playing. And I don't know where it's coming from, but I know it's from the fuck bus. And it's coming to get me.
Yeah.
Because
it fucking broadsided me.
I think to sum up the bus, like, so when you're wrecked, you've got a chance of exploding. And you roll one dice, and if you get a 6, you explode. But you add to your dice roll 1 for each, like, explosive thing you have on your vehicle. So if you've got, like, if you've got like 2 or 3 grenades or something, you add that number, like 2 or 3, onto your dice roll. If I ever wrecked, I would have added +23 to my dice roll.
Yeah.
Because it had so many grenades and molotovs and rockets and things.
And 8 fucking crew members.
But the downside of that, it was the only vehicle I had, and it could only get up to 3rd gear. And for those who don't know, you play round, everyone in 1st gear or higher goes, then everyone in 2nd gear or higher goes, then 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. So it meant that half the turn I wasn't doing anything, and then I only had 1 vehicle, so each gear phase I only had 1 thing going instead of 2. So,
but the thing is, you have.
I will not shed a tear for the fuck bus.
This thing literally can do rocket broadsides because you fit
literally
rockets
what
to the
it
side
did to
of it.
me. My fucking poor suicide buggy is just like, I've got 1 fucking hull point left. Fuck my life.
But yeah,
I just wanted to explode people.
I do kind of want to make a bus or some large vehicle now because seeing you do a broadside attack on someone, I'm like, oh, I just want to do that now.
Why don't we just play a fucking pirate game?
Because it's not as fun if it's not a bus that's designed to look like a pirate ship.
Okay, I mean...
that would be amazing. Just like strap like a mast onto like a Hot Wheels bus.
Yeah.
Why do I play games with you?
Sounds amazing.
Look, you've introduced someone who like in 40k plays orcs. Making dumb themed things is like the entire shtick.
Yeah, no, okay, that's fair.
But yeah, so we're probably going to occasionally mention Gaslands a lot.
Occasionally mention Gaslands a lot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we are. That's about right.
Just because it's a tabletop game we've all kind of gotten into, so you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be able to play an actual physical game soon.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the physical things to play it yet.
No,
So-
but
we will.
as long as we can get a photocopier, like we can print off the templates.
In this economy?
Like it's relative. Like all you need to do, you print off the templates, which you like print them off from the PDF rulebook or photocopy them from the rulebook if you've got a physical one. And then you sort of need special dice, but also you could just say, okay, a 1 is this, a 2 is this. So you really don't actually need much to get an actual game going.
Oh yeah, it's relatively simple. I mean, to be fair, like the full set of stuff you can get for £48.
Yeah.
So
All the physical stuff.
well, then that's for like all the things, and it's just we haven't
But the
been able
thing
to
is, you
justify
need to-
buying that
Yeah,
yet.
you need to make your own cars or just buy your own cars.
Yeah, but
So-
since you can buy a Hot Wheels car for like £1.50, it's probably all right.
Drama Matt, that reminds me. The car we bought for you, the little bug,
Oh, yes.
it has suspension.
Nice.
So you push down on it, and it does the
Cool.
like, suspension thing.
Yeah, just for clarity, there we bought like a job lot of Hot Wheels cars off eBay because one of them was a Volkswagen Beetle, and we knew Matt wanted a Beetle, so we bought one for him.
Yeah, like an
Oh,
old school Beetle
thanks,
that
guys.
goes bib bib.
And yes, it's weird. It has suspension, so you'll have to glue all that up.
Yeah.
That is actually the worst part of Gaslands is having to put the glue into the wheels of the car so they don't move around.
It's horrible.
It's a weird kind of sacrilege.
It really is. It doesn't feel right at all.
Especially if you've got like a good one that has a really good roll on it, and you're like,
Oh,
I
you
feel
mean
bad.
like my Ute? Oh, that was suave. A nice die cast. It was like, and then I had to glue the wheels up, and my heart, it broke.
Yeah, it's not a good
You
thing.
hurt the things you love.
But anyway, we should probably move on to what we've been up to, aside from the Gaslands and stuff.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you want to do that, that's fine.
Okay, what else did you want to say?
I didn't want to say anything. I just wanted to challenge you vaguely and just kind of be a bit competitive.
Okay. Any particular reason?
I just feel that people have come to expect such a thing, and you know what? I want to give the people what they want.
Okay, well, you've ticked that box. So, Matt, what have you been up to?
A few bits and bobs. I've been plodding along with LA Noire.
Nice.
I think I've come to the conclusion. I don't think it's a very good game in general.
I think the concept is perfect, but the execution is near impossible to get right.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's so linear. Like, whatever you do, the story progresses and it makes no difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and it's just like, and the story, like, there's bits of it, and I think what, like, brought that home as well is that there's various, I won't say what, but there's various cutscenes where your character goes off and does a thing that's stupid.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
very much so.
And it's like, well, so now I'm not like role-playing as this character, because then he goes off and does things that has more of an impact on the plot, just in a cutscene that I have nothing to do with. So all you're doing is just like following someone around and occasionally doing quick time events to get through it. So yeah, I've come to the conclusion that...
Which is fine if that had been the thing from start to finish, but it did kind of start off with, this is the character, and you are controlling them based on your interpretation of said character. So you can roleplay it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it starts off like that, and then it's like, oh, by the way, I'm just going to wrestle control and do something so buttfuck stupid. And you're like, okay.
I think it's another one of those problems with the game having a strong start and then the second half of the game, like, narratively being a bit of a mess, is that it allows you to notice all of the other flaws in the game because you're not invested in the overarching plot. Or at least I wasn't. I basically didn't care about what was happening for the second half of the game.
Yeah, I'm going to finish it off now at some point. I think I've only got like 3 or 4 cases left or something. So I'm going to finish it just for the sake of finishing it. But I had better hopes. And to be honest, I wouldn't recommend anyone play it really unless they got it for free and were intrigued.
Okay. I mean, I like it more than you do, but
I would say if it's like reasonably cheap, get it and just... Because it is a fun mechanic for the first 10 hours or so, but after that it really just drops off a cliff.
Yeah.
But I'd say, pick it up cheap if you're interested. I'd like to play it in VR just to fuck around.
Oh yeah, no, that would be fun.
That would be really fun, just doing stupid shit.
Yeah, no, I'll give it that. So that's been sort of on the back burner a bit just because I can't be asked. I started playing a new game, Fez. New for me game, obviously. Everyone knows what I'm going to say is not going to be a modern game. I don't actually know when it came out.
Well, welcome to MisanthroPod, where we talk about old games.
It's quite old now.
Yeah.
I think it's at least 700-800 years
Yeah,
old.
maybe. For those who don't know, it's like a 2D puzzle platformer thing with the neat twist in that it's 2D, but you can change the perspective of the 2D.
Yeah, it like spins around.
Yeah, so you can like make things line up or not, and yeah. Front loading my opinions with it now. I think this game is perfect.
Oh,
okay.
I think it's one of the, for what it is, like, you know, if you want a 3D shooter, obviously it's not, but if you want a puzzle platformer game, I would go as far as to say it's basically perfect. I'm massively enjoying it. Have you guys played it?
Well,
I've never actually played it.
No,
to be honest.
I'm not really into. Yeah. Not really a massive goer when it comes to puzzle.
Yeah,
platformers.
I mean that's what I mean. Like, if you don't like puzzle platformy type games, you presumably won't like it. But if that's the sort of game you're after, I'd highly recommend.
Yeah, it's just one of those games that I've just somehow avoided playing without intending to.
Likewise,
it's been on the long list of like I will play it at some
likewise,
point.
until it was on sale like not long ago, and I picked it up for a couple of quid, I think, or something. Not knowing anything about it, like I knew the screenshots, but beyond that, I didn't know anything.
Yeah, I think it came out like right in the sort of like batch of like top tier indie games before I started paying attention to such things.
Yeah.
So it's sort of just kind of passed me by.
Yeah. No, I'm massively enjoying it. Like the soundtrack is great. It's really pretty. It's all pixelated and whatnot, but it's really nice. And the animations, the character are really nice, and like you leave him alone for a bit and he goes to sleep, and it's just adorable.
That sounds super cute.
And like it's slightly meta, but not in a like it's slightly self-aware, but not as much to be like trying too hard or annoying. It's like just they've like got it just right, I think. And like one of the things I like about it is like you get like a map to show you where you're going around, and like each room on the map it says what there is left to find in the room. So whether there's any more of the items you need to collect or puzzles to solve or things. So it's like, because the worst bit about these games usually for me is that I'll spend ages in a room making sure I haven't missed anything before I move on, because that's how I play all games. Whereas for this, it tells me if I'm looking for something or not, but like it tells you just enough to think, okay, there might be something here, but like you don't spend ages doing things that's a waste, or I know that I'm not missing anything, because if I'm missing it, it will show up on the map as being not found yet. So for me, it like ticks all the boxes.
Cool. I'm going to give you one piece of advice there, Matt.
Yes.
And I won't go dwell on the subject at all, but I'll just say this. Do not Google the designer at all.
Okay, I haven't.
Because you will find a whole heap of bullshit that you don't want to get into.
Okay.
Just enjoy the purity
Yeah,
of the game.
didn't know about that. I will... Okay. I will just appreciate the art, but not the artist, I guess. And I won't look it up and upset myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, aside from whatever that might be. But the game itself, I'm properly enjoying it. And like, yeah, the puzzles are like... I've got like my whole desk at the moment is covered in bits of paper where I've actually had to take notes on things, because like most of the puzzles you can solve in the room relatively, like once you've worked them out, they're relatively straightforward. Once you've worked out what it is in the room you're looking for or what you have to do. But some of them, there's like, I won't go into any details in case anyone wants to play it, but like some of them I've had to like, actually write down notes on bits of paper and scribble down codes and things, and and it's just the right level of like complicated but logical. Yeah, massively enjoy. And the main character's a drummer, just to top it all off. So
I wonder why Drummer Matt likes it so
like it's not part of the, it's not part of the,
Drummer Matt likes it so
it's not
much.
part of the
I
story.
wonder why Percussion Mike likes it so much.
It's not part of the story as such. It's just he's also that this is a thing that he does. So I really really enjoying it. One of my favourite games I've played for quite a while. So yeah.
Oh dang, I'm glad, dude. Nice.
But that's basically been my week. I watched Avengers again. Don't have any more to say apart from I noticed the bit of CGI that you mentioned, and I was like,
CGI.
oh, okay, but it's kind of in the background. You can get away with it, but yeah. Now you pointed it out. I noticed it quite dramatically.
Yes.
Yeah. To be honest,
It's bad.
I'm the sort of person that particular effect, even though it's in the background, I honed in on it so precisely that dominated the frame for
The
me.
thing is, if you hadn't been wearing your glasses, you probably would have been blissfully ignorant.
Oh yeah, if I'd been wearing my glasses, I would have gone, why is everything still blurry?
Everything looks so good, but there's that.
Modern HD cameras are shit.
But that's me done for the few weeks.
Okay, so then, Snipe, what have you been up to over the last 2 weeks?
That's a dangerous question, isn't it?
Is it a very dangerous question?
Dangerous question.
Rewriting Age of Sigmar, apparently.
Well, yeah, no, I got that finished a while ago, but yeah, no, I had to sit there all day with my favourite crayons and cross out, John McClane's name, and it's this whole thing. But yeah, I've been playing an absolute metric fuck ton of Divinity Original Sin 2.
Yeah, you mentioned you'd started playing that in the last podcast, so...
Oh god, I've got like 80 hours racked up on that fucker.
Nice. This is literally been like a full-time job for you.
Yeah, which fucks up the rest of my job, really. But no, I've been playing. Oh my god, I've been playing my main character. I've been playing with Longfang, and when I've not been playing it, I've been playing another character, and I've just started another character. And oh my god,
This is the new WoW for you.
this is better than WoW. It actually has a good story
Well, yeah.
and characters that I don't hate.
There's actual writers involved.
There are writers in this game. Oh my god, I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying Divinity. It's so fucking good. Oh my goodness, is it good? I tried to go through with like a bunch of different characters, because I always take Ifan, Sibyl, and the Beast, because I love those guys. They're super cool.
The Beast.
The Beast.
Makes me just think
of
What We Do in the Shadows again.
I thought you were
The
talking about
Beast.
what you and I do in the shadows.
No, the film.
I was like, dude, what?
I like how you go to What We Do in the Shadows, but I was going to Frank Herbert's Dune.
Okay, that's different.
See, I went to, because I used to go to a college called Southeast Derbyshire College, and we had a aggressively snooty, stuck-up, horrible lecturer called Kath. And she thought if you actually tried at art, you sucked at it. She would suck the dick of like fucking Tracy Emin and like those people who just put glasses of water on shells for days on end.
Yeah.
And she was this horrible fucking creature, so we referred to her as the Beast from Southeast.
Okay.
Because she was just abominable. So that's where I went.
Yes.
But yeah, the Beast is like, he's a really good-natured nautical dwarf. He's really sweet. He reminds me of Johnny, if Johnny wasn't a dick.
Johnny's not a dick.
He's totally a dick.
Only to Nathan.
Like, yeah. I don't know how no one could, like, how could you not love Nathan?
Well...
John, that giggles knowingly.
Do you want a list?
I would like one, yes.
We'll work this out after the podcast.
Like an itemised list of why Nathan isn't loved by all.
I don't want to throw shade, but I'm fairly sure Nathan started it.
How the fuck did Nathan start it?
You probably called him short or something.
Well, I mean...
A few times.
Okay. But, like, you probably called him worse.
I don't know if I have, actually.
I don't know, I think you might have done. But anyway, the dwarf is really nice. Unlike other dwarves I've met. But no, he's, I don't know why they call him the Beast, but you ask him and he says, I'll tell you when you're older.
Nice, okay.
Which I don't know if he's hitting on me, but I think he might be.
I think we know exactly why he's called the Beast then.
Well, moving swiftly on. But no, he's really cool. Sybil is like an ex-slave who's really fucking... She's a bit mad. She's a bit like, oh yes, let's get to killing. But you know what, after a while, she gets okay. She's fun to have around. She's kind of a bit of a machine. And Iffin's just, he's the best.
He's your bae, isn't he?
He's my character's boyfriend all the time, forever. He's fantastic, because you can romance them as well.
Okay.
And I've got like to Act 3 and everyone is hitting on me and I'm like, fucking what? No. Stop. Like Sybil is like, hey... like she just walks up to me and starts holding my hand, and I'm like, could you fucking not? I've actively avoided romantic options in conversation, but okay. And the Beast starts he kind of wanders up and he's stroking his beard, like, it's kind of pretty out on the sea, and I'm like, no, just fucking stop. I don't care if you go like a sewing machine. I ain't interested. Please leave me alone. And then just descended into an awkward silence. But yeah, no, it's a really good story. Like, I really like how it's got a lot of branching paths. Like, it's diet D&D. And I've been digging that so much and just loving it. So yeah, 80 hours.
Yeah.
I think it's 80 plus hours at this point, because I did play a couple of hours before we had to do the podcast. Which is fine. That's fine.
Fine.
Don't look at me like that. It's fine.
Yeah, it's only a problem once you admit it's a problem, so...
It's not.
Yeah.
But it's not a problem though. So
Exactly.
It's just like a crippling heroin addiction. It's only a problem once you admit it.
No, that's you can't compare. Really, I think that's a bit of an unfair comparison.
Okay, like a cocaine addiction.
Okay, do I look like I'm a loaded person? Do I look like I have money? No. So yeah, I can recommend it again because it's really good. And honestly, I don't want to go to the gym after this. I want to sit there and play more Divinity. If I increase my strength stat, it's kind of like being at the gym.
It's absolutely not.
It kind of is. If my life was a pen and paper RPG.
Have you managed to do anything other than Divinity?
Well, some things. I'm like, it's not all I've done in the past couple of weeks. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you start.
I was just going to say, why are you saying this in front of me, the one person that knows the truth?
What, that I haven't just been playing that. I've been doing art and other stuff that is just pointless to talk about on the podcast. I had to go to the doctors, and that I thought I had to go to the doctors to talk about my hearing aid and whether I wanted one or not, which I would have said no. And he just looked at my chart and went, oh, fuck. Yeah, no, you just see a specialist, you deaf bench. And I was like, okay.
It was awfully unprofessional of him.
It was a bit, but, you know.
See,
I kind of like him levelling with me.
When I said, have you done anything else, that was actually my comedic way of trying to segue you into the second topic that you have written in the notepad file that's sitting dead in front of us.
Stop breaking the fourth wall. Yes, actually, dearest, darling, sweetheart, sugar pie, honey pie, love of my life, apple of my fucking eye, I've read The Martian.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, is this something we can talk about now? Have you read The Martian?
Yeah. Did I not
It's
mention?
really good.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it too.
I really liked it. Yeah, I knew. I literally, when I started reading like all the readouts and the numbers and the maths to you, and I turned around and said, Jerome and Matt would fucking wank over this book. How right was I?
Yeah.
To be fair, it's like I was sitting there, like I think I got to page 17. I was like, I have no idea about half the shit this guy's done. I vaguely know that it involves a lot of maths, but yeah, he's doing it. He's doing it good. But no, I thought that was really good. I thought there was like, I'd say the weakest parts of it were the third person parts, because like it does swap over to kind of like other people. It's not entirely like first person note form.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought those were probably... They weren't weak because they were poor story, I say. It was just the way it was written. So it was like, Jim said, John said, Jim said, Alice said, and it just kind of went on like that, and said was like the only thing he had. Which, to be fair, it's like, that's not really...
It's technically correct, but it's a little dull to read.
Yeah, but the thing is, the book was still really good in spite of that, so... But no, I really enjoyed it. I thought the ending was good.
Yeah, have you seen the film?
No, but I want to.
Okay.
I thought it was on Netflix, but it isn't.
Oh, is it not? Because I saw the film before I read the book.
Yeah.
We only read the book. I think we bought it at Christmas. Have you got the book with Matt Damon's face on, or the original cover?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to get one off Amazon, but it was like, oh yeah, if you want free shipping, you just spend like 20 quid on books.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we just got it. There's like in the charity shops in and around Derby, there was like 3 or 4 copies in each charity shop we went in. So
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
This is when they might have all sold, but yeah, there's loads of them lying around.
I mean, I got mine from HMV.
For £2.50.
For £2.50, so I was just like, that's fucking great. And I don't care if it has the movie. I know a lot of people get really uppity about that. It's like, look, if it gets people reading, who gives a fuck?
What about having movie covers?
Yeah.
I will say I've got a really cool one, because I did mention it earlier. My copy of the first 3 Dune books, like a compiled form, and they're in a sleeve that was from the 1980s movie, because it's from then.
Yeah.
So I've got the one with, I forgot his name now, the actor who was in Twin Peaks and stuff, and there's him on the front, and so it's kind of interesting.
Cool. Yeah. But yeah, no. Really enjoyed that book. I can recommend it, and I do really look forward to seeing the movie. I want to see how they kind of... Because when reading the book, it did feel like a lot of it was... not like stage instructions, but it was almost like a script in the way that it would... Like, there's a part where he's doing something, and then it's kind of telling you what's happening around, like in a separate kind of paragraph, and it's like, this is straight up movie directions.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have taken very much to adapt.
Yeah, no, so it's kind of like, no, this works really well. I think that will work fantastically as a movie.
Yeah, no, I
very much
enjoyed
interested
it. The trailer, I mean, it doesn't matter now you've read the book, but the trailer is one of those annoying trailers that give away basically the whole plot of the film, which is kind of annoying.
There should be a law against that. I fucking hate that shit.
And it's slightly different, if I remember, from the book. I can't exactly remember, but it's still
They don't give him
enjoyable.
a love interest, do they?
Huh?
They don't give him a love interest, do they?
No.
Okay, so it's not all bad.
See, talking about that, I've been reading iRobot.
Ooh, okay.
The Isaac Asimov.
Yeah. I've never read the actual book. I've seen the film.
You've
You've still not spoiled anything.
So I'm just gonna say, like, the book, because I'll probably talk about it properly, like when I actually finish it. But the book is made of a bunch of short stories, which, from what I understand, were published over the course of several years in different things, and they've sort of been compiled with an overarching narrative.
Okay.
But they're kind of unrelated. I'm about 2/3 of the way through the book, and currently no story has occurred that bears even a passing resemblance to the plot of the movie as I remember it.
Okay, right.
So unless like one of the last couple of stories is about that, then at best, iRobot is based on one of the stories from iRobot. Rather than being... I mean, it would be impossible... Well, it wouldn't be impossible, but it would be inadvisable to make a movie based on the whole of the book. Just because of it being... Yeah, because it being made of, like, several little things. But, yeah. Adaptations are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so any final thoughts on The Martian?
I think think I've said pretty much everything. I just read it. It is fun. I think it has a fantastic sense of humor. I think because the premise is, well, it's not spoiling anything to say that the premise is a guy is left behind on a mission to Mars, and that could have been a real like misery wank of a book. Like really, it could have just been like, oh god, never gonna see my family again. But it's like the character is kind of like one of those people that kind of breaks tension with jokes. He's a very jovial kind of character.
You know, because you were reading bits out to me as you were going through, because you'd like burst out laughing at some comment.
It's very funny.
And every now and again, you'd say something, and I go, I mean, when was this book written?
I have no idea. Probably relatively recently.
Yeah, pretty recently, I think.
Okay. In the last 5-6 years, maybe.
Because I wonder if there is any influence from the character of John Crichton from Farscape, who was kind of a similar thing of who was in this situation which mentally broke him, but he dealt with it by constant jokes and references to like TV and stuff, which no one around him got because he was in an alien
landscape. Funny you should mention that, because he in the book, the only thing he has really for entertainment is one guy's USB of Poirot and mystery books, and the other thing is from his commander, and it's all disco music and 70s TV shows. So he's just trapped in this horrible fucking... it's being stranded on Mars is bad enough, but with only music from and fucking TV shows from the 70s. Oh my god, that poor guy. But no, and he's still cracking jokes because it does alleviate a lot of the genuine god, this would suck. But it also doesn't water down the actual kind of intense or emotional moments in it as well. Yeah. So I think it's actually a fantastic balance. It's very well done.
Yeah, and it's so easy to read as well. I'm for sure I read it. It is easy.
It is easy.
Not long at all.
So, but yeah, I do recommend that. It's very fun, very good.
Yeah, it's worth checking out the film as well. From what I remember, it's not. I don't think it's as good as the book, but it doesn't reading the sort of humor in the book. It could come across really badly, very easily on a film, and it's not. It's not as. I don't think it's quite as funny as the book, but it's still it does work well.
Yeah. Oh, actually, talking about the film and book adaptation thing, I've got an interesting problem at the moment, because when we bought The Martian, it was part of a deal of 2 for a $5.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And with that, I bought a book as well, and I got Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which is
a terrible title by Philip K. Dick.
Yeah, it's a Philip K. Dick novel that was adapted into Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Which is such a better name, honestly.
Which is such a better name. Actually, the book I've got, it does say on the front, it's Philip K. Dick's Blade Runner, filmed as Blade Runner, but actually called,
it's
Do
a bit
Dream
weird.
of Electric Sheep.
But at least it doesn't just say, this is Blade Runner and Blade Runner only.
Yeah, at least it doesn't just pretend that's the name of the book. But yeah, I'm really kind of stuck right now, because I've been meaning to watch Blade Runner this year, because it's one of the movies that I've never seen.
The original, you mean?
Yeah, the original.
Okay. And
so now I'm stuck in this thing where I'm like, oh, I've got the book, but do I watch the movie before the book or the other way around?
Yeah.
Because I know the movie is supposed to be really, really good, and I'll probably really enjoy it, but will I ruin my enjoyment of the movie by reading the book, or will I ruin my enjoyment of the book by watching the movie?
It's literally just pick something you want to have ruined for you.
Yeah.
Because I was reading The Martian, and just sitting there, every page I was like, this is just huge spoilers for the movie. Which is really such a fucking weird thing. Yeah, I think you just have to bite the bullet and pick one.
I think I might watch the movie first.
Yeah.
Because then I'll get a condensed version, and then I can have an expanded version afterwards, so I'll be more interested by what was different, as opposed to being annoyed by what isn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that might be the most sensible way of doing this.
I mean, Philip K. Dick was notoriously off the wall.
He's a strange man, was Mr. Dick.
Yes, he was. Very strange individual.
He was a weird dick.
He was a strange
dick.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Please. Strange dicks.
Alright, so Wib, what have you been up to, apart from strange dicks?
Apart from strange dicks, I've been playing a lot of Destiny 2, because that came onto the Humble Monthly.
Oh, okay.
As the game that comes out early. And finally basically makes Destiny 2 like a price that I think
Well, because it's
kind of sensible.
It's like, oh god, how many games do you even get?
Oh, you get a bunch.
It's like $12 a month, and then that's chucked in there as one of them. So.
Yeah, so
like a couple of dollars is apparently a decent price for it.
Well, yeah. But, like, because the thing is, like, if I'd have bought that thing for full price, I would have been super pissed at how, like, short the main campaign is.
Mm-hmm. But then you've got the microtransactions to fill it out, so...
I don't even
mention them because I fucking hate it.
Oh, yeah. But, like, as getting it, like, cheap and sort of separating it from that side of things, from the money side of things, which buying it cheap does kind of do that. Like, I have actually quite enjoyed it, because I really like the aesthetic of Destiny. I like the way, like, the tech in it looks and stuff. And I even like some of the characters and stuff, like, there's the character of Cade, who's voiced by Nathan Fillion, doing basically himself.
Is he just Mal?
He's just himself. He's just playing the character Nathan Fillion always plays.
Mal.
Yeah, basically. But as a robot.
Robot Mal.
Okay.
Who makes me very happy, because there's a bit, because the game's been out for fucking ages and it's such a minor point, I'm going to do a minor spoiler, not for the overarching plot at all.
Just for Nathan Fillion's romanceable options.
Just for his romanceable options.
Okay.
Wait, you can romance him?
No, you can't.
About to say, I was about to be interested.
But there's a part where they're in like a barn, and his character Cade is sitting there just stroking a chicken.
Stroking his cock in the barn.
Because they just
dirty bastard.
Like, they're having this serious, like, discussion about, like, this world-ending problem. He's just sitting there, just stroking a chicken.
Stroking his Philip K, you could say.
Stroking his Philip K. And,
strangely,
like, I was playing this through with a friend, and, like, as we were playing through it, I'd made up a backstory. I went, look, anytime that he's not on screen explicitly shown not holding the chicken, I like to imagine he's holding the chicken, so whenever he's over your radio,
he's just stroking.
I like to imagine that he still had the chicken. I'd name the chicken Marjorie and everything.
Yeah, but the chicken's name is Colonel.
Yes,
but it's Colonel Marjorie.
Because later on, the chicken does reappear used as a distraction. So he did keep the chicken.
I love it. It's canon.
I made a headcanon and it was proved correct as it went on. And yes, the chicken's actually called Colonel. But,
Colonel Marjorie. Yeah.
And so I was very happy about that. But yeah, I'm currently just into, like, I've done the main campaign and I'm just into the post-game stuff.
So that reminds me of, I was playing Snipe Elite 4, and you blow up a bunker, and like the big cinematic kind of like camera pan, and there's a chicken that runs out of it, but is engulfed with flames.
Oh.
And I actually tweeted at Rebellion saying, please, for the love of all things holy, tell me that chicken at the end of this mission is okay. And they just sent me back a gif of some fucking guy doing, the, like, you purse your lips and kind of raise your eyebrows, like, And I have never been so hurt by a games developer. That's not okay. They fucking, not only did they break the news to me, they broke it in GIF form. The fuck does that?
That's the worst way.
It's the worst.
But yes, I'm into, like, the post sort of story thing where I'm just grinding out for gear. I've even played some of the PvP, which shockingly I didn't completely hate, and was
mostly hated,
and was actually able to kind of compete okay in. Like, I think I played like 5 games of the PvP, and I've been on the winning side 3 of those times.
It's just Halo.
You can play it with a mouse and keyboard, so it's better than Halo.
Yeah, but still Halo.
in my opinion, because I'm terrible at first-person shooters with a controller. But
I did games dev during the time where Halo was at its most popular.
Oh yeah.
Don't fucking talk to me about Halo. Don't fucking approach that subject with me.
I mean, you brought it up, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I like playing, so shut up.
As a console shooter, Halo was pretty good.
It's good, just baby's first FPS, yeah.
It's just...
Ooh, what you gonna do, person typing that comment? Go back and play your baby FPS.
Do you want to stop being so antagonistic for no reason?
No, that's kind of what people have come to expect from me. I aim to deliver. I ain't changing now.
Okay.
Also, fuck Halo, it's dumb. Cortana's too pretty, it's stupid. It actively makes everyone stupider by looking at a hot AI.
Okay.
I don't like her costume, it's dumb. It undermines the character.
It does kind of, yeah. How?
Master Chief sucks. The way that they create Spartans is dumb. Warthogs are a cool name, though, but they're a stupid vehicle.
You done?
The flood is a natural disaster, not Alamals.
We
The needle gun was stupid. It looked like a potato with a bunch of crystals stuck in it. That's like you'd find on a 50-year-old woman's fucking Etsy page.
Can we stop talking about Halo now?
There's no chickens in it.
I don't believe there are chickens in
The
Halo.
biggest insult.
Yeah.
The biggest insult.
Anyway.
Space chickens.
Yes.
So,
They are the best.
Yeah, so Destiny, the PvP is actually not terrible. Even the grinding stuff, like for me, I'm okay with it because I kind of have a soft spot for kind of overly grindy games. Because it gives me, it's like...
You should try meat and fuck.
That's a different kind of grinding. Like, there's a certain place in my heart for the type of game that you can just sit there and idly play whilst you're thinking about other things, and you can just be wandering around, like, shooting enemies and just gradually earning rep with things, and, like, just building up those sort of things. Like, that's okay for me now. Again, if it was full price, then it would be so overpriced, and I totally understand why people were pissed off about that, and especially considering that all the nonsense of some stuff has been gated off now due to DLC coming out, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
But as something to pick it up through the Humble Monthly where it's dirt cheap, you know what? It might be worth a shot. It's all right.
Unlike Halo.
Unlike Halo. The only other thing I have to mention is also sci-fi related. Shocking, I know. But I finally bit the bullet, and I've started breaking the back of watching Enterprise.
I'm not enabling this behaviour.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Dude, no, it's not nice.
Well, it is, because like, it's going to be hanging over to you till you've done it, so
Yeah, like,
you might
I've
as well
watched-
do it.
Stop being an enabler.
I've watched the whole of Discovery, so
Yeah.
I really owe it to watch the whole of Enterprise as well.
Why?
It might get better.
It does, apparently. I've heard the last season of it's actually good. Like, not just good for Enterprise, but just generally pretty good. But the first couple of seasons are a bit shit.
Yeah, so this game's really good once you pass the 60-hour mark.
Yeah, but Matt,
it's a completionist
how
thing at this
far
point.
into if you just take it into account of all Star Trek, like you're how many hundreds of hours into it at this point? So you kind of might as well do the last 20 or
Yeah, because I think there's something like 700 odd episodes of Star
You've
Trek
pulled out
in
19
total.
of your teeth, you might as well pull out the rest of them.
But I've watched like say 600 of the episodes of Star
You
Trek.
pulled
so
out 500 of your teeth, you might as well pull out the last 100.
honestly, like
As long as it's nowhere near me, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's not as if you don't ever play terrible games or whatever or watch terrible
Yeah,
things.
but that's different because I'm awesome.
Yeah, fair.
don't
And it's only cool when I do it.
right. Look, just look at it like this.
No. I'm not looking at Enterprise anyway.
Enterprise is my Riverdale.
I
There
haven't
you
watched
go.
Riverdale since.
Yeah, but you watched like 2 seasons of the fucker.
Because I genuinely hate myself and enjoy suffering.
Well, am I not allowed to do that as well?
No, because I care about you.
Anyway, Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise,
Still better than Halo.
the earliest prequel, even earlier than Discovery. So I'm about 17 episodes through it now.
It's got a dog in it.
It does have a dog in it called Porthos, who is
Nice.
adorable.
Poor.
I just want the Porthos show.
That would be
It's
better.
Dog Thanos.
Oh God! You know what? I love that dog. I don't give a fuck. I would die for that dog.
So I've got a couple of notes about the show that I'd like to bring up, on my being like most of the way through season 1 at this point.
Okay.
Which is that you could cull most of the cast and it wouldn't matter because
Not the papa though.
not the pupper.
No.
The pupper actually does matter in a couple of occasions.
No. The dog always matters.
Yeah, but I mean like narratively speaking.
Make it the captain.
Yeah,
Captain
that'd be better.
Doggo.
People thinking it's the dog has been a plot point. Thinking the dog is the captain, rather.
Okay, I was
Sorry,
like,
yeah.
What's
Sorry,
the dog?
sorry,
That was so foreboding.
I've been trying to like talk about this, and you keep throwing me off.
I'm sandbagging you.
I just want to get this Enterprise bollocks out of my brain.
Okay, go on.
So-
I'm not stopping you.
Jesus.
Get on with it.
So
Come on then. Don't be shy.
stop this. So, a few notes. So one, yeah, a lot of the cast could be removed. Like there's a guy called Mayweather who at this point has only been relevant in 1 episode. Hoshi could be gone. Honestly, you could remove the character of Malcolm, who's like the armory officer. It wouldn't matter, because really, the story is about T'Pol, Archer, and Trip at this point. Like, they're the only 3 characters that are really important.
And the dog.
And the dog, to a lesser extent, because he's a dog.
No, the dog's the most important thing to me.
But the weird thing is that even despite that, like, the 2 best characters are ones that don't really matter that much, which is Dr. Phlox, who I actually kind of like, and Malcolm, who I mentioned, isn't really important, but at least he's a slightly annoyed British person, so at least,
he's literally just you.
He's my audience proxy.
Yeah, that's your representation right there.
And Phlox is the alien on board, and he's kind of quirky. He's basically what would happen if you went and remade Neelix to not be as annoying.
Neelix was so fucking annoying.
So you can't. I think he's basically like another take at that to make it work. And so I actually kind of like the character. Like, he's a bit weird sometimes. He's a bit like, lol, so random about things on very occasionally. But like, for the most part, he's kind of endearing. Although the weird part about the characterization is, how you would have characters in the previous shows that would take the role of like the audience proxy in terms of the awe of things. So they can be taken along with an event because they're so like enraptured by the whole experience. Like Harry Kim would do that in Voyager, or to a lesser extent, even like I seem to remember there's quite a few episodes of like LaForge doing that, where he'd get kind of in over his head because there's like something magical and wonderful happening, and he wasn't cynical enough to like to be suspicious of it. Do you want to know who does that role in this show?
The dog.
The captain.
I mean the guy who's like the top of the command.
Yeah, so it's Archer. So it ends up meaning that Archer comes across as a shit captain who doesn't know what he's doing like 90% of the time, because he just gets balls deep in events that he doesn't know what he's doing all the time. And so you're just sitting there going like, so Jonathan Archer is just an idiot, which meant when in Discovery they mention him by name as being like a great captain, you sit there and you go, nah, I've seen at least 3 episodes of the show at this point. Like, I know that Jonathan Archer is not a good captain.
I'm going to no-prize that and say that history is written by the victor, and they've actually made him out to be way more capable than he actually is, just so they look better.
That could be true.
It does, but yeah, that's fair.
There is an episode, the last episode I watched was one that had Ferengi in it.
Females.
And the cool thing about it was that there was 4 Ferengi, and I can't remember who played one of them, but the other 3 were like notable actors. That was kind of fun to see them playing Ferengi, one of which was Ethan Phillips, who played Neelix. So got to see him play a different role, because he's not a bad actor as far as I understand it, and he was fine as a Ferengi.
The role wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, he was fine as a Ferengi. There was also Clint Howard, who you will recognise
He's in everything.
As the small, weird-looking guy, who was strangely in the original series at one point as a child.
Oh.
Of course, because he has to play at least 2 roles in any given Star Trek series nowadays, Jeffrey Combs was playing a Ferengi, but in a completely different Ferengi to the one that he played in Deep Space Nine. So he was playing more of a Rom-type character than the character of Brunt that he played in Deep Space Nine. So yeah, that was kind of fun to see, because it's always nice to see Jeffrey Combs, because he also plays a reoccurring Andorian character in Enterprise as well. Because he just.
I like how they just like swap out a bunch of people in makeup. Just like, oh yeah, you can play this guy. I love it.
The best one was, of course, he played 2 reoccurring roles in DS9, which sometimes will both be in the same episode. Because he played Brunt, the I forget what the actual thing they were called. But it was like Ferengi, like financial, like investigator called Brunt, and then he also played Wayoon, who was I forgot. I forgot the name of the alien race, but it's the like cloned helpers of the changelings. So, and he played like multiple versions of the same character, just the different clones. So he quite often would play both of those in the same episode, which must be fun for him.
Well, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
But yeah, so I'm going to watch the rest of Enterprise. Fortunately, it's not very long compared to the other series, the other like versions of Star Trek. So.
Yeah. Is it 4 series? I've got for the number 4 in my head.
Yeah, I think it's 4. So that should be interesting. I can't wait until I get past the shit seasons and get to the ones that are supposed to be decent. That will be nice.
Well, I hope it gets better and you enjoy it.
So do I.
I hope you do.
But that's all I've got to talk about. So I guess we can move on to the questions.
Yes, the questions. Questions.
That sounded very worky and
Professional, I think, is the term.
professional. Professional is the word.
Was professional the term you were thinking of when
No,
you said worky?
Worky that's the professional term for being professional. You like
okay.
to keep it cash.
Oh, okay.
But still, that's as casual as you can be with being professional. It's this new thing. You
Oh,
probably
okay.
haven't heard of it. I invented it.
Okay. Since you know all the words and you
I know all of the words.
have the best words,
I have... Fuck off!
do you want to tell everyone at home what the email address they should send their questions to is?
I probably could, yeah.
Do you want to?
After
After this many episodes, do you remember it?
Of course I do. Of course I do. It's onlydrummermat@snipeandwib@gmail.com.
That is true.
That is-
That is
Yeah.
the email address to send it to. It
The
is.
first at is just AT and the second at is the at symbol because
Yes.
we are fuckheads.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this joke old yet with the whole stupid email? Well, we can't.
We can't change it now.
We can't
Changed
change
it. Yeah.
So that email address again, if you want to send in questions, which I implore you to do so because they're fun to answer, is onlydrummermat@snipeandwib@gmail.com. That's a legitimate website, webpage, email.
So we've had a bunch. Some of them are questions, some of them are more suggestions, but as usual, I'll go through them. So first up, we've got Greg, aka the Beast of Bramble Jam. Ring any bells?
Good.
Yeah,
No.
Greg.
Good.
So he's asking, Wib, how far have you progressed in Subnautica? Are you still making progress?
Oh,
Do you know anything about the upcoming DLC?
I know nothing of the upcoming DLC. I played a fair bit of it a few weeks back now. Where did I get to? I'd made like a full base. I'd built the bigger... I hadn't built the biggest submarine, but I actually had like a little submarine to zip around in now. And I was slowly exploring and figuring things out. I have no idea how close to an end game I was. So yeah, it's kind of hard to say when it's like a survival game and you're intentionally not like spoiling things for yourself.
Yeah.
I was starting to find components for the big submarine. That's basically where I was. I think
Yeah.
I was about halfway through finding those components is where I left off.
Okay.
So I'm still grinning because the Beast of Bramble Jam.
Yeah,
It's fantastic. That makes me so happy.
Their second point was they sent me a couple of images, which I'll just drop in your Skype now,
Right.
which are more directed at you, Snipe.
Yeah, every time I see them, I gotta confirm that's literally Australia.
Do you want to say what they are?
I probably should.
Yes,
Codex Australians, a bunch of oh god, what
it's
is
the
it?
cover of the old Catachan
Yeah.
codex.
Or what was it? Alpha Bus says Catachan or something stupid.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, Catachan Codex. It's just got Australians, and then there's the Tyranid Codex. So it's got Australian wildlife. Because that's pretty accurate,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's painfully accurate actually.
How many times have you seen those JPEGs?
A few, but it makes me feel nice that people see something and think of me and they want to share it with me. So.
That's true. That's true.
I hadn't seen them before, so I laughed at them. And also thought they were very, very appropriate.
Painfully appropriate.
Yeah. I think
Oh, God.
more the Tyranids being Australian wildlife, even more so than just the guys in vests
that's
being
yeah,
Australians.
it's incredibly
but they're
accurate.
both very accurate. Next up, Andrew, a couple of suggestions. He says because we mentioned The Expanse in the last recording.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's being fucking cancelled, but now they're
Yeah.
not. They're starting to consider maybe not cancelling it, which I think is a worrying thing for TV shows to know that we actually give a fuck, because then maybe they'll start cancelling things just because they want to gauge interest.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's quite terrifying. I hadn't thought of
Yeah,
that.
I don't trust big fucking corporations at all. As far as I can comfortably kick them, which I cannot because I am one woman.
yes.
No matter how strong I am, and I am incredibly strong.
Yeah.
But-
For reference, the Codex Australians.
Yeah, seriously. So that kind of worries me. I mean, because Brooklyn Nine-Nine was cancelled and then taken up again
Yep.
for a different thing, so thank God for that. But yeah, I'm hoping The Expanse gets saved as well, because I've heard nothing but fantastic
Yeah, well,
stuff
so Andrew
about it.
says, yeah, The Expanse is awesome. Like, seriously, go watch it.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Apparently, it's the
watching.
best. He thinks it's the best modern sci-fi series they've seen.
Cool.
I have heard that statement from a couple of people, so
Yeah.
Which,
I
I'd
have been
check it
meaning
out.
to, but yeah.
Yeah, we will. I think it's on Netflix.
As long as it's
It
less
is, yeah.
boring than the other Netflix sci-fi that we've mentioned last time as well. Which I've
Altered Carbon.
I was so
Yeah.
bored of it, I've just forgotten the name of it.
I couldn't.
Sorry if anyone likes it. Like, fair, if you like it, that's fine. But I just couldn't get through that.
If
First.
you like it, that's great,
Yeah,
but I just could not
yeah.
get into it. I've been watching the Netflix season Dark, which is a German show,
Okay,
which
what's
is
that
very
about?
good. How do I describe it? It's about a town next to kind of like a nuclear plant where stuff starts going really weird. It's quite realistic kind of. It's a realistic kind of thriller. It's a bit grim, but I do like the acting is really good. The story is done well. It has a lot of child actors, but damn, they do well.
Oh, nice.
They do really well. So yeah, I can recommend that to you. Like Dark, it's good. But yeah, I haven't finished it yet, but I'm getting through it.
Okay.
I guess that's a bit of a sci-fi as well.
Well, yeah, it is literally science fiction. So.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's a sci-fi too.
Their second suggestion was so we mentioned LARPing a while ago.
Yes,
They're recommending.
I know Ash really wants to do some LARPing.
They're recommending they're biased, but they recommend Empire LARP, which I have heard of actually. I've seen someone do a video on what it is. They say it's not for everyone because you go and camp with like 2,000 plus people for a whole weekend. So
So it's
Okay.
basically like a music
It's-
festival, but everyone's pretending that they're an orc or something.
from the sounds of it, so it's pretty intense. So it might not be a yeah.
It's intense!
I was wondering whether you noticed or whether you anyway.
Dude, I cannot let a pun go by.
Um, you're welcome.
I'd have to dress up as Nathan, and I don't know.
But yeah, they say
You are
so-
allowed to have more than one RP character.
I do, but I just like Nathan the best. Because he annoys you so much.
But yeah, no, I think we should do it at some point.
Okay.
I don't know when, and not necessarily that one. We'll have to find one that's like easy to get into to start with.
What we should
Yeah.
just do is say fuck it all. Go camping in random woods somewhere, like at the back of Aldi. Just dress up as our characters, and then just go on adventures.
Yeah, and get arrested.
And we won't get arrested because the cops will have lower initiative than we do.
Yeah, fair.
Throwing tennis balls at a cop, going like cast magic missile. How well do you think that's gonna go?
Not great.
Well, the thing is, the problem with cops is that they have chain
Better in
lightning.
the UK than America, though.
They have shocking touch.
Yep.
But the thing is, we'd massively outnumber them. So what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, is if you want a true D&D experience, you need to dress up, go out in the woods, and fight the police.
Good.
I just want to just
It's
say
the best D&D experience ever. No negative repercussions can ever come out of this.
I'm just gonna say Snipe and Wib as an entity does not endorse this action, and
Yes, I do.
it should not be taken as a sensible thing that you should follow.
Much like pretty much everything else we say on the podcast, or in your videos.
Well, yeah, but this one especially.
This one especially.
Yeah, but it's cool because then when they arrest you, if they manage to arrest you, if you haven't like won the combat and then like looted them. Also, they carry really good loot. The cops do. Fantastic loot. They're not like your average city guy. You can pick up the spell like
Before we
shocking
actually
touch.
get in trouble, let's move on.
Yeah.
Brian wrote in. They love listening to our D&D exploits. So apologies, it's been a little while, but
Yeah, sorry.
life.
We're planning to play next time, so we should have some more D&D tales next time.
Yes. Question for Snipe: how far into the Fables are you?
Not very far because the books are expensive. So I've read the first episode, like Fables, the first
Issue.
issue.
Well, it's not an issue; it's like compilation.
Yeah, so Fables 1 I've read, and the Bigby killing Nazis I've read. I'm wanting to get the second one and etc.
Yeah, well, because it isn't the what's it, Wolves of the Homeland or
Is
something?
it Wolves of the Homeland or Hearthland? I can't
Something
remember.
like that.
Yeah.
But if I
That's
remember
kind of
rightly,
like a bit of that's on the outside of just this is happening.
yeah, that's not part of the mainline
Yeah.
Fables comic series. It was like a spin-off.
It was. I found it in the works for like a $5, and I was like, shit,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I'm getting this. Fuck yeah. But yeah, so I'm kind of working my way up to it because they are kind of pricey.
Especially to get all of them like that.
Get all of them. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to getting more of the more mainline Fables comics. So yeah, I will keep everyone updated and see if I get to see more Big Beepeen.
Yes.
Because that's why everyone's tuning in.
I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
the only reason. Yep.
That's literally the only reason.
Finally, they sent a dog picture of their dog called Puck, who's
Good.
Oh!
looks like he's drinking out of a pint glass. So, not sure if it's
Okay.
beer, but we'll see. Moving on, Princess Barry.
Princess Barry.
Princess Barry.
Okay.
That's a fantastic name.
Snipe, don't be worried about not painting your army. They've had most of theirs for many years and have only, in inverted commas, finished 2 vehicles and some boys.
Thank you.
And they're,
Thank you
and they're
so
still
much.
buying more.
You're doing great, dude. Keep at it.
Also, a
Proud of you.
lot of the lore you write for Age of Sigmar is fucking crazy and kind of awesome.
Thank you. I work really hard at it.
Couple
Keep your eyes peeled. In a couple of months, there's going to be a real big thing coming out.
Nice. They've also got a couple of recommendations. They say to Wib, but I guess it could be to anyone. First up, a book series written by someone called Jack Campbell called The Lost Fleet.
Okay.
Alright.
Apparently it's quite good. The first book's called Dauntless, and there's quite a few more.
Okay. Is this a sci-fi thing then, or
It doesn't say.
because it was
It's either going to be boats or spaceships.
just because it was aimed at me, so I
Yeah, I'm
assumed it was
guessing.
probably sci-fi.
Well, the second suggestion is a TV show, which I have heard of, but I have not watched. A sci-fi original show called Town Called Eureka.
Not that one.
Yeah, I remember that. I never.
Yeah, I feel like I might have seen an episode or two, but I can't remember.
I think my dad might have recommended that to
Okay.
me at some point.
It's
Actually,
been around for a while, and apparently the pilot over-sexualizes some of the characters, but it gets better after that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I would say you've always got to watch the episode after the pilot
Yeah,
because
yeah.
so many they can literally just remove whole characters, change the actors.
yeah, pilots are always
Pilots are
yeah.
funny.
Of-
Like the pilot for Buffy the Vampire Slayer is so fucking weird because they have
Yeah.
a different person playing Willow.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's just
Oh.
strange.
Weird.
Yeah, I think I'm just used to Alison Hannigan, so
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's pretty cool. Next up, Gnomish Inquisition. Enjoying the podcast, hoping the adventures of the MisanthroPod will continue soon, which,
MisanthroPod is a great name.
likewise, I hope.
You're the DM. You're the one who gets to kill us if we fuck up.
Well, yeah, I just meant I hope we have another chance to play soon. Is all.
Oh, okay. That would be really fun because I love playing with you guys.
Yeah. Hopefully next week.
Yes.
Anyway, less of a question and more of a suggestion. Again, targeted towards Wib.
Alright.
But I guess anyone now. We've all started playing Gaslands. You mentioned having a pile of Space Marine parts while talking about Gaslands vehicles. They wanted to impart the concept of perhaps using an arm, apparently. Like putting Space Marine arms on either side of the car. Or alternatively,
Grabby
stick a foot
cars.
at the front and use that as a ram.
Okay, that's pretty good actually.
Well, I mean, I guess there is nothing stopping me doing that.
Or you just put like a defiler arm either side.
Oh my lordy, we can make the beetle with hands for wheels or whatever it was.
Oh god, the
Oh, yeah.
beetle
Oh,
with
yeah.
fists.
A VW Beetle with human hands.
No, human fists. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I need it.
It was hands. I remember doing the Photoshop.
Yeah, but
My God,
it
I
wasn't
remember
an
doing the
actual
Photoshop.
beetle though.
No, not that. No, that. Okay, the thing with fists.
Why do we keep giving things hands?
Okay, the thing with fists was
Okay, tell me about the thing with
was
fists.
a Photoshop of an actual beetle, as in an insect,
Yeah.
that I did for, I believe it was the Fable video.
Beetles with fists.
A
yes.
VW Beetle with human hands is the name of one of the old podcast episodes.
Of course it is.
And I photoshopped a pair of hands where the wheels should be on a VW Beetle.
What is the back end wheels?
Or
Or is it feet?
You couldn't see the back end.
Well, then
and-
what would theoretically be there?
I don't
More
know.
hands?
We may have already gone through this tough philosophical ground
Yeah, I feel
in
like we
the
did.
episode in which we talked about it, although I don't remember the context for it whatsoever.
That's
so
the thing.
who
I
knows?
look back fast on the podcast titles and just go, the fuck did we get to that point?
The worst one is when someone will leave a comment, like, joking along with something that we've done.
And they won't timestamp it, so we can just
like, of an old episode, and it's like, look, I'm not going to sit down and listen to an hour and a half of us prattling on again.
Yeah, so if you do want to reference something specifically, timestamp it for us so we know what the hell you're talking about.
They don't have to do that.
You do, otherwise we'll ban you.
They don't have to do that.
We'll ban
They don't have to, but they have done in the past. One or two people have done in the past, and I've been very impressed with them.
Yeah,
So-
just bear in mind, we probably, if it's an old episode, we probably don't remember what we were talking about. So if you reference something, it might require some context.
Barely know what we're talking about at the time.
That's a very good point.
Because sometimes I do see comments like on old videos or whatever, and I
So it's like, well, they're going to need a whole lot more sandals. And you're
I'm like,
what?
I don't know what happened. We recorded that 2 years ago. I don't fucking know what I was doing 2 weeks ago. Like,
Evidently by the content of this podcast.
exactly. Yeah.
Their last point was we've previously mentioned Brick Wars, or someone suggested it to us, and they're seconding it. Apparently they checked it out and suggested that we at least skim the rulebook because it's very funny. And at least worth a read of the rulebook, even if you don't intend to play.
You see, I can't remember what it's called, but I saw a couple this week of other, like, cheap alternatives to tabletop war games that don't require, like, a huge amount of models. They're expensive. One of which was a Lego one, but it was made for, like, Gundams and things, but so you can make little Lego Gundams.
Oh, that's cool.
And do that. And the other one was one that you can play with literal, like, little green army men.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I wish I could remember what they were called offhand. I'd have to go, like, digging through my feeds to find it. But yeah, so I know there is quite a few of those things around because, yeah, ultimately there is an issue with stuff like your Games Workshops. Like, if you are really, if you really are poor, if you don't have a lot of money at all, and if you don't have, like, say, because when we started, we were in a really bad financial position.
We were pretty fucking bad.
But we had my old armies.
Which is why that's most of mine.
Yeah, from when I was a kid. So we were able to still get into it, and then I could, through various things, we were able to put together my orc army was put together as much on the cheap as possible, like just bits and pieces here and there, and lots of scratch building. But, like, there is a real barrier to entry for some people, and I think the fact there are these games out there that do that is really cool. I mean, personally, I quite like how it was done in the original Rogue Trader rulebook. There's little photocopy cutouts in the back of it, so you can play Space Marines versus Orcs with just little cutouts.
I think that's really positive.
Yeah, and the second edition box set came with a cutout Orc Dreadnought. So you didn't need the model itself, you could just use cutouts, and I think... I understand why Games Workshop as an entity doesn't want you doing that because it eats into their selling you models. But
it would be nice to show a bit of compassion there.
Yeah, I think people should be a little bit more accepting of sometimes people doing that because they might need to, because it's an expensive hobby to get into.
It really is, yeah.
But the actual game's enjoyable, and it seems a little unfair to completely arbitrarily lock people off because they can't afford £300 of plastic.
Yeah, no.
So, I like the idea of these little games, basically is what I'm saying.
I do,
Even
yeah.
Gaslands kind of fits into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, it's costs like £3 for me to have all the cars for a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even, like, if you include the parts that were used on it, 'cause like a few bolters and things, like, it wasn't really much at all.
Yeah, not much for the rulebook either.
Yeah, no, the rulebook's I think it's about a tenner on its own or something.
Yeah, it's just over, it's like 11 or 12 quid.
Yeah.
Or presumably
it's
a
pretty
regional
reasonable.
equivalent.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it is like British or if it's American or...
I think the guy might be British, although I don't know what I'm basing that
I'm
off.
basing it around the fact that he's just one dude in a shed. It seems more likely to be
That's a pretty
British because
British
that's how bloody Games Workshop started and all the other ones. So he probably lives in Nottingham based on the based.
We'll go knock on his door and be like, hello.
It does seem like there is actually more people involved in it. It's just I think it's Mike Hutchison, I think is the guy who's got his name on the cover. I think there is some other developers behind it from what I've been seeing. But actually, funny enough, Games Workshop, like, they didn't start off making the games, really. They were just like a supplier of games. I think it was the mail order stuff started first. And then they went on to do White Dwarf. and then they opened like a physical place, and then they started doing like Warhammer. So I think that's the order of things. So they're a bit of a weird one in terms of how they built up.
Next up, Wesley emailed in saying...
Shut up, Wesley.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's the law.
Yeah, I'm sure they're completely used to it and it doesn't annoy them at all. Asking if we've played Elite Dangerous.
I have not.
I have not.
They say it's like Euro Truck Simulator but in space, which I think is quite a good description.
Hey, you've played it.
I have, yeah. I had the. I don't know if we spoke about it on the podcast. I backed the. I think it was a Kickstarter, or it was some form of crowdfunding. I'm sure it was a Kickstarter for it. Right, years ago now. Played it when it first came out, but it wasn't fully developed when it first came out, and I played it for a bit, and it definitely has potential to be one of those games that I could like fall completely into, but it just didn't quite latch me on for some reason, and I wouldn't say why. It just didn't quite snap or something, and then I kind of stopped playing it for a bit. I've been meaning to check it out recently, just to see what's new in it, but because I think I left my Xbox controller, my USB one, at your place, and it's the worst kind of game to play with a keyboard and mouse. Like you need a controller for it basically, because you can move in like all axes and like move and pivot in it. So like trying to do that with a mouse and keyboard is like not easy.
Bit of a pain.
I can understand that. Yeah.
So at some point I might pick it up again. I've got it. I think it's still installed. Yeah, I can see the icon. It's still installed on my PC because it's not. You can get it through Steam now, but because I got it through the Kickstarter, it's like it's got its own start screen and things, not through Steam. So I kind of just forget it's on my PC. But yeah, it is good. I just haven't played it for ages.
Okay.
You could probably get into it, I reckon, Matt. Web there.
Whatever my name is.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're saying the word Matt, people probably won't think that you're talking to yourself. Or maybe they do.
Yeah, it's true. I just,
You do talk about yourself in the third person a lot. That's true.
From a Mad Smash.
They also their second question was, do you like survival games?
Not really. Not very much.
Yeah, it depends how you like. The Long Dark I enjoyed, but then I just stopped playing it.
I think did it well, but I think there's the massive glut of survival games where it's just like, you die of thirst if you don't have a drink for 20 in-game seconds. I think like that shit, because it was quite in vogue for a while, and loads of people were making games not really getting it.
I think the thing with survival games is that the ones that I have enjoyed have all been the ones that the fact they're a survival game is not the main thing. They have something other than that. So, like, way back now, but like I used to play the shit out of Minecraft.
Yeah.
Which is fundamentally a survival game.
Survival crafting game.
But that's more, there's a lot about the building there. Or Subnautica, of course, which we talked about earlier. Like, I really enjoyed Subnautica, but that's got its own thing. Like, it's the underwater thing, so it's not just your bog standard survival thing. Even something like Don't Starve is
an interesting take on it.
Is a different kind of take on it. I think it's one of those things where I find it kind of hard to say, like, do you like genre of things, because most of examples of any genre are going to be crap with a small amount that rise to the top of being the best examples of it. And like anything, the best examples of survival games can be really good,
Yeah, I played Rust for quite a while until it just reduced my opinion of humanity so much. I was like, I can't deal with this anymore.
I played Rust with you and Dicko, and honestly, playing Rust with Dicko is like just the way to lose all faith in humanity. No, no, it's just that game I thought was incredibly basic, and the fact that it had other people in it actively ruined every ounce of enjoyment I could have had. Because people would just come on over and just destroy everything you'd make, or just murder you and be like, ha ha. Yeah, it's a bit too much like real life, honestly.
Yeah, which I know is the point of the game, but also it's like...
The point of the game is to feel horrible.
People will come over and murder you and steal your stuff when you don't have any stuff and you've just started. And it's just like...
Yeah, they'll just constantly, like, murder you. And, like, my mic was on and I got chased by some guy screaming sexual things at me, and I was like, this isn't really fun.
Yeah.
I'm not having the funnest time. I'm not saying that everyone who plays Rust is disgusting, but I'm just saying that every game I had was just a slog and it wasn't fun.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was just the worst of humanity seemed to come out when I was playing.
I think it's like if suffering the shit that threw at you wasn't something that like really bothered you that much, then you could probably like I know Dicko quite enjoys it.
Yeah, Dicko enjoys
it. Dicko's like I think he's still
Dicko's one of those
plays it.
personable people.
Yeah, he gets on with people. Like he's willing to like he tries to engage with people. Like he sees like when people attack him, then he tries to talk them round and can quite often manage it. So it's like, I can see if you've had those experiences, then that would alter your opinion of it. But yeah, I've never, after seeing you play it, I was like, yeah, I don't particularly have any desire to play this video game.
Mm-hmm. Nah, not a fan at all.
But again, yeah, there are some are bad, some are good,
Yeah.
It's on a case-by-case basis.
Good answer. Very helpful. Last up, Shanus. First question, is Snipe actually an X-Man?
Yes.
Because there's the shouting and the punching and the dreams of a mysterious facility, and of course growing up in a savage fantasy land.
What you're asking is, am I Wolverine? The answer is yes, but don't tell anyone.
No, sorry, I like the idea. Growing up in a savage fantasy land. Wolverine, you mean Canada?
Yeah. Horrible. Literally, it's kind of like the polar opposite of... Well, I guess Russia is actually the polar opposite of Australia. Because, like, oh my god. Like, crazy murder cold. But still, no, it's pretty bad. That savage land of Canada.
Bits of Canada are brutally cold.
Yeah, yeah.
So...
Also, they have milk in a bag, which is surely a sign of savagery.
I honestly don't get why milk in a bag is a problem.
I don't. It's a joke. It's just a statement of it's something strange and unusual that we don't have here.
We had it here for a few weeks, but everyone got freaked out by it and they stopped it immediately. I say here, back in the UK, like a few years ago.
Humans are so dumb because they you can throw a bag of milk into like a supermarket and people will just be like, shut it down, shut it down.
Well, wasn't it like the first man to wear a top hat caused a riot? Just because he wore it.
The fuck is wrong with us as a species, dude?
We're fucking awful. Like, the moment something comes along that's a little bit different, we're like,
Are you legitimately telling me that if I went out in town and wore stilts and, I don't know, a bit of cheese on my head, I would cause a fucking riot? Because now I'm going to sit there and think, what can I wear to actively cause a riot? Because I want to be... Local woman wearing green paint... Like filled up a bunch of condoms and full of green paint and put them on a headdress causes riot in city.
I would say the modern...
Millions dead.
I would say the modern equivalent is whenever a celebrity is photographed not wearing pants and the tabloids have a...
Feeding frenzy.
Have a feeding frenzy of moral outrage. That's sort of the equivalent of it now.
Oh, I want to literally just walk into town wearing a chicken on my head and cause a riot.
Well,
what kind of world do we live in? The fuck was I even talking about? Milk in a bag.
Milk in a bag.
I like the idea.
The point is that you're an X-Man.
I always wanted to be an X-Man.
Before we get bogged down in the the baggy details.
Yeah, I always wanted to go and live with the gifted children thing and just be super cool. That was kind of a big fantasy of mine.
Yeah, no, I
growing up in a shitty household, that made that really, really sad. I want to go and hang out with people who can kill me via immolation of thought. That'd be so much nicer than where I am now. But yeah, no, I'm Wolverine.
Yeah.
I'm Laura Kinney. That's my name. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
And very last question is one I can't answer yet because Shanus asked, "How's the new couch?" And I don't know. They're asking, does it live up to my high standards? And have I marked it as mine yet with my own special slime?
Special slime?
Which apparently I have.
Which you absolutely have.
To which I don't know yet until next week when I will go and slime all over it.
Okay.
Can you... Okay, Matt, can you not slime our couch?
I'm not promising. It depends how good your couch is.
So if it's really good, would you slime the couch?
Yes.
Likewise. Is it really bad? Would you slime the couch with shame slime?
Yeah. The slime is multi-purpose.
Oh, so is this is it the same slime, but it's your intent is what changes, like, what you're doing. You know, what type
Or
of
is it
slime
a
is.
different chemical makeup?
Well, my intent changes what the slime is.
Oh, okay. So what is the shame slime?
I don't know. It just happens when I think about shame.
Which I imagine is a lot.
As a concept? or when you feel shame for things you've done or seen?
I mean, both. I can't control it.
Okay. Are you just currently sliming your apartment violently because we're just talking?
Yeah, I just sit on a bucket at all times.
Have you had more emanations of shame? Have you had
Flames, Baxter?
Have you had more emanations of shame slime since you've been doing the podcast?
Oh, yeah, I think that's when it started, to be honest.
Don't you blame us? What about proud slime? Pride
I
slime?
don't know, I've never felt that.
Never felt pride. Okay, what about happy slime?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I don't need to go into details about happy slime.
Is that for a different bucket?
Yeah.
Somewhat less used.
Have you tied a bucket to each ball to swap back and forth intermittently?
Can I make a request?
Yes.
That we end the podcast?
Yes.
So we're not talking about the different emanations of Drummer Matt?
He only has two, which is happy and three. Wait, where's the third? Okay, so he ties the third bucket to his prolapse.
His prolapse?
Yeah, his rosebud.
Okay.
No, there's a new low. Oh. I mean, literally, I'm sitting down, I guess, but... yeah, that's end.
So, we will keep you informed about the type of slime Matt comes and just violently shoots over our flat when he sees the new couch.
You're just hoping your couch is aggressively average now, right?
Painful. Please tell me you don't have average slime.
No.
Yeah, it's a disappointed slime. Anyway, goodbye everybody at home, and we're very, very sorry for what we just made you listen to.
I'm not. Goodbye. Take care.
Bye.